Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Sarthak Show, where we discuss about tech, career, product and life. And today in this very special podcast series, we have back with the part 2 of the podcast with Ashi. She is working as a payments product manager intern at Tesla. अगर आपने part 1 नहीं देखा तो I will put link somewhere here. You can check that out first. And today in this part 2, we will discuss more about her learnings. What is she doing currently at Tesla? What is she working in the projects and what are her learnings so far? How she is aspiring to become a full-fledged product manager and what are her learnings? So stay tuned till the end of it and hit the subscribe button if you have not subscribed to this channel yet. And without further ado, let's start with the video. Yeah, so coming back to the original question and original story. So how was your interview experience at Tesla? What kind of rounds did you face? And what can you give, like if someone is looking to apply for a product position at Tesla, what typical rounds he or she might face?
Got it. So I think this differs a lot company to company, especially based on what the team is hiring for. Right. So in my rounds with other companies like Amazon and Walmart, the questions were really different. In terms of Tesla, the questions were really different. I also got into a consulting firm, the questions were really different. So depending on what the team wants, based on that, the questions will come. But one thing I would say is, for everybody who aspires to be a product manager, start working with people on Stellar Peers. This is a website that connects you with thousands of people across the globe who are all into product, and they are all, so it basically gives you an access to their Google Calendar, and on that calendar you can just go and check. So hey, Sunday Sarthak is practicing product sense, let's go and book a meet. You can literally do that on Stellar Peers. That is what I did for the first 6 months before coming to US. So just to give you an overview of the questions that I have faced on different companies, the first round that I've usually seen is, so with Tesla, it was an informal call because I connected with the manager on LinkedIn. But if you see the general pattern, the first round is usually the behavioral. And it is extremely important because in just one question, they are trying to check what you've done, how you've done it, in what time, and what are the outputs or results that come out of your behavioral story. So behaviorals, I feel, are a great way to assess your skills. So that is first round. I am a person who practiced a lot of behaviorals with my peers. I connected with a lot of LinkedIn people. So I know that there are some PMs on LinkedIn who give out educational posts and they give out templates, the star template or any other template. Use that, make your stories, and then take out 10 minutes every day, stand in front of the mirror and tell that story to yourself till the point you feel confident. Because confidence is not a trait. I am a firm believer that it is a skill that you acquire. You cannot just say, hey, that person is really confident, No, the person is confident because he did that thing for 10 times. And for the 11th time, he felt confident. So behavioral is one. The second thing, so I was targeting product and consulting because both of these are my dream careers. So for consulting, I worked on a lot of case interviews. Case interviews can either be extremely broad questions saying, hey, the US dollar currency bills have seen an increased amount in the Canadian domain. What's happening? That's how broad a question can be. And then you break it down. What is happening to the bills? What's the shopping experience? Are there immigrants? Are people coming for tourism? Has the Niagara Falls closed? So much can happen. So case interviews are a great way of checking how you think, how you solve the crux. For product, I practiced a lot of product sense, product improvement. And the third was product metrics. These three things will also help you a lot. So just how would Facebook movies work? Or maybe how would a vending machine work for somebody who has visual disabilities? Something like that. So they give you a lot of assessing power to check how the person can think about a product. The best way to do all of these questions, in my point, would be to break down it into a structure, to break it down into a framework. And then based on the type of the question, use the framework and then get to the answer. And the last would be that the resume round or the tech round, if you would say, be very, very crystal clear with every line that's written in your resume. You should know your resume right from the back to the front. Like I would say that you need to know what you did. Why have you written a 95% increase in efficiency? What was the 95%? And a lot of set questions is a concept in the US. So so this happens with some big companies. So if you've told, hey, I increased 95% of the revenue, how did you do it? What did you do it? 95% came from where? What was the original revenue? What was the new revenue? So you cannot get stuck on your story. You need to know it inside out, right? So make sure you practice everything that you've done and do not lie on your resume. Embellishing something is different, lying is different. So write what you've done, speak what you've done super confidently. So so behaviorals, products, cases, and tech. These are the 4 rounds that I have encountered with companies that I've interviewed.
Okay, I think thank you so much for sharing a generic overview over that, because a lot of different interview will change company to company based on the position itself, right? 100%. So giving a generic overview will be very helpful, right?
Correct. And there would also be situation-based questions. So this is something I forgot. This happened at Tesla too. So they asked me a situation-based question. So so this is happening and we want you to do this and you have less than 2 months. So what would you do in this situation? Something like that. That is another way that's not as detailed as a product question that might take 30 minutes. This is not as small as a behavior also. This is the sweet spot in between where you have the chance of showing your interviewer why you want to make it and why you're a good fit, why should they consider your candidacy. So situation-based questions test how you will perform in a stress situation, in a growth situation, something. So that is a great way. And that's something you can practice with all of your peers, right?
Right. Yeah, and definitely those situations will come around during your product. So that is why they want to test for it, right? Because case study might come or may not come as together.
Exactly.
But
the situations will. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And like, as you mentioned, like these were the rounds, and so how was that typical turnaround time look like? Were these round in a day or a week, or was like they were spread out in a month period? Like how was your process? Were you getting time enough to prepare between these interviews? Were you told that this is going to be a next round about this specific, I would say, section or this specific topic?
Okay. So one thing that I would say is in the US, everything is extremely fast and transparent. I know a lot of people who did not choose to ask their recruiter, but I keep following this, and I also keep telling people that you should ask your recruiter, and in a very general way, in a very generic sense, that, hey, do I know the names of my interviewers for the next round? Or hey, is it going to be behavioral, or do you want me to practice a case, or is there anything specific you want me to focus on? And even though there is a strong chance that the recruiter might say that we are not sure, but again, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, right? Back to the same analogy. If you ask, there is also a 50% chance the recruiter might give you the answer. So this happened when I was interviewing with Amazon. So I clearly asked, what's the next round going to be? Do I know my interviews? And the recruiter had an answer for me. She's like, it's going to be behaviorals and these are your interviewers. So I had the time to research and look up these people on LinkedIn, look up what they are doing, what is their journey. This in turn helps me make the questions for at the end of the interview. So that is a big part of getting into it. So if the interviewer is interviewing you, you are also interviewing the interviewer. So when you ask me, hey, do you have any questions for me? And if you say, no, everything seems good. Or if you say, hey, no, I think it's good, we can talk later. That just shows the interviewer that you probably are not thinking it through. Knowing who the interviewer is will give you an opportunity to ask a question which is customized to their background. So one suggestion I would have is ask your recruiter what the next round would be. To give you a generic pattern that I saw in my interviewing was the turnover time was pretty fast. This is good because even if the decision is a negative or a reject, at least you know and you can move forward. So with Tesla, everything happened within 15 days. With other companies, it also happened within, so Amazon has a policy of 2 to 5 business days, which is good. Walmart has that policy, so they give you within 2 weeks. With Tesla also, it happened very fast. So I got my results pretty fast, which helped me make a very informed decision of what I want to join. That being said, I would also give a benefit of the doubt to the companies that cannot give the decision in 2 weeks, because you get so many applicants and all of them are such good applicants that sometimes it's not just possible to reject somebody. So companies take time, they put a lot of thought into the matter of which resume should be put, which, and there are so many internal things that are happening in a company. Sometimes you might get a production issue. Sometimes you might get this, that. The interviewer or the manager is not free to take an interview. You might have to
Yes.
reschedule. So just to
Right.
give a benefit of the doubt to everybody that cannot give a turnover within 15 days, that's completely all right. We can just
Right.
shoot up a message to the recruiter saying, hey, I have a pending offer. Is it possible for you to give me an expedite decision? So that always. So just ask. That's what
Right.
I do. Don't hold yourself back. Just ask. Because what's the worst that can happen? They'll tell a no, which is fine. But at least you asked. You took that shot. So
Right.
that's what I would say.
I can second that definitely. And things are not so black and white at every point of time.
Exactly.
So you have to understand the situation. They might not give you expected result, but definitely you can ask
Correct.
for. And it's
Correct.
like more of a PM being a PM trait, that you ask the questions and write the question.
Correct.
So
Correct.
I definitely enjoy that, because I have to ask the right questions to my recruiters. I have to ask the right questions to interviewer, because I think that is also one moment, because before ending the interview, I am going to get leave a good impression on the person, that yes, I have thought through, and this is the question that I want to shoot at you, because I have heard from interviewer that is a very good question, and he have really put a good thought while answering that, and he really enjoyed that question, like answering that question. That is your chance, like everything again.
That's your chance, correct, 100%. Even putting a simple thank you note to your recruiter or interviewer after the interview, just again, it's coming back to that edge part, right? That's giving you an edge. So yeah, just say a thank you, just ask your question, and just then patiently wait, because if you've given your best, then it's going to come back to you.
Right. And since you can only control the things at your hand, you should do and try to optimize for that. Once that is done, like you should move forward and move on to the next part and start doing that. So again, then congratulations for cracking that interview. But how has been things after joining the Tesla? I would say, how has been the perks like? What has been the work culture like? How are you feeling at working at Tesla?
Okay, so I am immensely grateful for making it in this company. So to my managers, to my mentors, to PMs, for everybody who decided to give me a chance. For the first week, I really had this imposter syndrome that, oh, I don't fit in here. Everybody's so driven, so experienced, and on a level at their life that they exactly know what they're doing. And I just felt like, okay, am I even the right person to work here? Am I doing what is asked of me? I had a lot of imposter syndrome. But again, I read the blogs and the posts of so many great PMs on LinkedIn to how to deal with this imposter syndrome. So one thing that really helps is the domain knowledge. So I started reading about payments. I started reading about Tesla. That helps you feel at home. That helps you get a little confidence into what you're working out. Talking about the culture, it's an amazing culture. The team is so well integrated with each other. If you just shoot up a message on Teams, say, hey, I'm not really sure what to do, they're going to get back to you. So right now we are in a hybrid work situation. We go to office, say, twice or thrice a week. We work at home the other 2 days. But the best part that I like is everybody is so approachable. So if I have a question, I'm just going to shoot out to my mentor or to my colleague saying, hey, I'm not sure what to do. Can you help me out? And the person will either be available in 5 minutes or be available immediately. But at the end of the day, I get it solved. So that's a culture where you want to be, right? I am extremely grateful that my manager and my mentor have a plan for me that, hey, we want Ashi to do this in the first month. We want her to do work on that the next month. This just goes to show the efforts that they are putting into the intern. So that's amazing at Tesla. Your team has thought out your journey of an internship for you, that they want you to work on this, and that's your growth. And it's also very important, irrespective of the decision that comes out later, it's important to walk out a better PM than you walked in. And I think that's your actual growth. So the work culture is great. It's a fast-paced environment because internally we still operate as a startup. We believe not in making something perfect, because in an ideal work, like you told, everything is not black and white. You cannot make something fully perfect. So you put in 99 of it, you make an MVP, you get a lot of customer feedback. Another thing I love is how they coach me and how they mentor me to not jump to the solution. So as an intern, I've made that mistake, and so many people are going to in their life, right? You have this urge to jump to the solution that, hey, let's do this. But no, understanding the customer, understanding the pain point, understanding the journey before you go there. So you're going to learn when you get a lot of mentoring. So the fact that I've been assigned a mentor is great. I'm so happy Tesla is doing that. What else? The day-to-day looks, you go in, you have a scrum, you have a huddle where everybody sits for 30 minutes and discusses what they've done, what they've not. Then you start working on your individual projects. Then you have your one-on-one with the PMs. So that's great because I get to learn what the other PMs are doing as well. One thing that I also love here is that I try to book a 30-minute call with probably a developer or a designer to learn what they're doing. So like I said, that 30 minutes is my growth. So a culture of a lot of mentoring, a lot of coaching, a lot of growth, and putting you into the right direction so that you learn out of this internship. That's something that I love about this company.
Yeah, and I think you are utilizing it in the best way possible out there.
Correct.
So reaching out to different set of people and understanding. And I think the main goal should be that whatever skills or whatever at level the PM you went in with, you're walking out as a great PM or better PM in that.
Yes, that's
and
important.
I think PPO and other things will get and will follow, right?
You will reach there with, yes, you will ultimately, not today, not next month, you will reach there. But if you did not grow in those 5 months or 3 months or 2 months of your internship, then you've probably not at the point where you can say that, hey, I have benefited out of this. So when I look at my PMs that I'm working with, I look up to them so much. All I think is I need to be able to think like this. I need to have a vision like this. I need to be able to have those convincing skills because they are at that point. But wanting to do that the next day is not going to be possible. So I'm going to have to take baby steps, make sure that I'm learning in my internship. At the same time, I'm contributing to the team and the company. So that's the sweet spot where you grow and you help the team as well.
Right. And I think for me, I keep my motivation just by saying that I am at like one of the best companies in India. And and I keep my spirits high. Let's say hundreds of applicants are daily wanting to be at this position right now. So I have to utilize it as best. And I have to do justice to this position by doing my best part of it, learning in the best way possible, and whatever I can do best with this time. Right.
Correct. So you should once in a while give a pat on your back. That doesn't mean you completely get satisfied with your work. You keep growing, keep doing, keep pushing yourself. But once in a while, also take a bow. Be grateful that you've landed in such a good company with such good people. That's really important. I think brand name kept aside, it's so important to be with that right set of people who will push you to your limits. And I think I have that. So that's really important.
Yeah, so true. As an intern or as a fresher, I think we are like those clay models, and we are getting shaped by those special people that are around us. So that mentorship, that season, that everything is very, very influential. And I think it's been very well summed up by you. But any last thoughts, any last guidance that you want to share with the audience out there?
So first thing I would say is I have asked this question to hundreds of people that, do I need a CS degree to break into product? And everybody has told me that, no, you don't. But it's also good to know the technical side of it, because if you're going to talk to your engineers, if they're going to ask you that, hey, what should we do it in Java? Should we do it in something else? You need to know the jargon that your engineer is talking into, right? So you need to know the tech side of it. So that's one advice, that even if you're not coming from a CS degree, it's completely all right. I have a friend who's coming from psychology and has broken into a product management at a big healthcare firm in the US. So that's a journey that you want to be a part of, right? So that's first advice. Second would be to make sure you put in a lot of thought on your resume. And it's two different things to spend 1 month on your resume alone versus spending 1 week with 50 individuals, because those 50 individuals are going to contribute. So take a lot of guidance on LinkedIn. Third would be to make sure you know what you're asking when you press that connect button, because otherwise you're just wasting two people's time and it's not worth it. So make sure you get a lot of guidance. And the fourth would be to just take the shot. I did it and I'm happy that I did it. it's okay if, and I got a lot of rejects too. That's completely fine. It's, you're going to apply, you're not going to make it because there's somebody who's a better fit. But if you don't apply, you're anyways not going to get it, right? So might as well apply, get rejected rather than not taking the shot. So the fourth advice would be just to take the 100% of the shots. And the last I would say is talking helps. Talking to people helps a lot, but taking it inside, absorbing it, using it in your day-to-day life is also a very important part. So after the call, I can either just listen and forget, or I can reflect, absorb, and use it to be sure that you're in the right direction. So that would be the final set of advice.
Right. And I just want to highlight once again that like getting rejected is very, very normal. It just shows that at whatever step that you are getting rejected, you just have to improve from beyond that step only.
Exactly.
And it will be like give you a better chance from the next time. Or let's say you're getting registered at a 4th level for Walmart, right? For example, then you will get like, I just have to like improve for the 4th round of interview, but because rest 3 I have cleared already, I just have to work on this skill, right? So every rejection is also a learning.
It's a big learning, because in a perfect ideal situation, you cannot get accepted for every application, because there are better people out there, right? There are more, there are so many more people that I know who are better curated for a job than you are, and it's completely normal for them to get into it. So either you can sulk about it, or you can grow from it. You can set your own benchmarks, improve on that, and then move to the next step. So
yeah, exactly. And that is so true. So all the folks and audience listening in, like, I think this has been a great podcast that you have get to know. And Ashi should be your ideal person if you're from the non-tech background, that nothing is like must to have, everything is good to have skill. You just have to take your shots and start doing what you can do best, right? And things will happen, right? So thank you so much, Ashi, for sharing your journey. This has been very lovely podcast for me. I learned a lot and got a new perspective in my life. Thank you so much for coming and sharing and giving it this time for the audience here. And I will love and appreciate like this will be appreciated and helpful for the audience out there, and all the people who are wondering. Yeah, definitely. And all the people who are wondering, I will put the LinkedIn link in the description box below, or every resources that Ashi will share to me, I will put in the description, and you can check that out. And with that, I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.